I'm curious where you have actually seen somebody come in and make some of these shifts, and what are some of the ROIs that people can actually expect if they're making these minute changes, like the order of operations, right? And you're doing the same exact things, you're just doing it in a different order than you're used to.
I think a great example is one of the founders that we're working with now. He is creating a new fintech business, and he is in the stage where, he really needs to define brand, ICP, create go-to-market materials, a pitch, and all of that doesn't matter because the product is missing a major feature that if this does not get solved, none of the rest matters. While all of those feel like things you need to get an A+ on, only one is one that you need to get an A+ on right now, solving the product problem so that you have something to go to market to and create a pitch deck about and define an ICP for and all of those other things.
Yes, you can go and do steps 1 through 10, but if step 2 changes, then you just ended up wasting so much energy doing work that you're gonna have to redo again. Why do you think that's an area where founders just want to end up like doing, if it's step 1 through 10, I just want to be able to do every single aspect of it?
I think part of it is that need to be a high achiever because applying that sort of work ethic in playing a sport or getting good grades, it's different than actually applying it to a job that you're going to be doing for a long time. I think people fall into this trap of if I'm just always on and I'm always working my hardest, I can't fail. And the opposite is true. If you're not protecting your energy and space, you'll burn out. And if you burn out, you're not going to show up at 100%. You're going to show up at 20% if you show up at all. I think another area is that there are just so many playbooks out there for everything, and we're all eager to have a little bit of a hack and save some time. I think what's missing is actually evaluating how those things apply to your business, who you're going to sell to, what you're working on, the stage you're in, and the time frame that we're in, because a playbook from a few years ago probably isn't going to perform the same way today. Let go of that need to have a hack for everything because sometimes just doing it thoughtfully is going to get you farther than following somebody else's playbook.
Yes, and having that level of awareness is so beneficial. There are a few times that you've talked about evaluating. Can you expand on that a little bit more on how you think about utilizing data when it comes to either personal or professional growth?
So the data is there, but making yourself look for it is probably the hardest part. So for example, if somebody were going to walk away from this and track their time for a couple of days, I wouldn't just want you to label the types of activities you're doing as this is revenue generating or this is admin. I would want you to think about what your energy was like when you were performing that activity, what time of day it was happening, and how that might have related to the way that you felt. If there were any gotchas that popped up because you sat down to start this thing and you realized that you're actually missing a critical piece that you needed to go solve for first. That's the type of data I'm talking about when you're putting together a full plan for yourself on how you're going to prioritize and how you're going to maximize your efficiency. It's actually sitting down to do the analysis after you've done all of that tracking. And I know that is the least fun part of all of this, but nobody's gut on how they spend their time or how they feel during certain activities is going to be 100% accurate because we're optimists and we want to think that the things that are the most important are the things we're going to be best at and enjoying the most. And that's just not true.
These are really high execution oriented folks where it's like, I'm, an entrepreneur and I'm bringing this absolute beautiful idea into reality that doesn't currently exist. So I need to have that level of optimism. But the unfortunate part that we also see is not having that level of being connected with not just reality, but your reality. How many people do we know that are like, I'm going to push through this limitation? I'll sleep when I'm dead. I just need another cup of coffee to be able to hustle and be able to grind. And I do see that we're slowly getting away from the hustle culture, not because there isn't still this massive push in the market to be productive, but because we're noticing that level of hustle culture actually doesn't equate to the level of outcomes that you would want to have. So, 3 takeaways from this topic around time management. Number 1, do some level of an audit, whether that's tracking your time for a week or looking back historically and seeing where you spend your time and the order in which you spend your time. Number 2 is be able to track how you felt and how your energy levels were. So, if you took that meeting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you felt tired, make a note of that. If you did that really hard thing in the morning and it felt less hard, make a note of that. And then number 3, based on the findings and those trends that you're seeing, shift the way that you're scheduling, whether that's the order of what you're doing or what things that you need to be able to put off in order to make sure that you are effectively planning in a way that's successful for you.
Nailed it.
Awesome.